Well, hello chaps, it's Commodore Graham here. Welcome back to the Eureka Minecraft server. Now, it's been quite a while since the last time I made an episode here, and a lot of stuff has happened, but there's only one particular focus we're going to have for this episode. Come on. And that focus is up there. Okay, so one thing that we have been sorely lacking since the Countess and I moved into this lovely alpine valley is a mob grinder. Now, we have not found a single dungeon, like a spawner dungeon, since we moved here. So we've had no opportunity to make an experience grinder, but I would like to make a generalized mob grinder for the drops, mostly for the gunpowder, to be honest. Although actually bones as well, since bone blocks is a thing now, if I happen to want to use a lot of bone blocks. So what we have is this pyramid-shaped structure that I've been building. What's the best vantage point here? So it has multiple levels upon which mobs can spawn. Wait, let's get my head back. So down there is where the enemies will drop out of the bottom to their demise. And it's going to be a while before the pyramid is fully constructed, but we will be able to activate the first level pretty soon. And I may in fact end up doing that in this very video, although a lot of the stuff that I'm doing has to be off camera. So the pyramid is part of it's part of a larger setup. I guess the mobs are going to, I think, right there where I've put those orange blocks. That's where they're going to spawn. They're going to be falling onto a sacrificial altar of sorts. We'll go into the details of that some other time. I don't want to spoil everything. And as you might imagine, I'm going to have a few hoppers down here to catch the drops and send them to chests. Now, let me go into the construction of this bad boy a little bit. I started off... Hang on, can we get up here? I started off over here. Here is this is the center, obviously. Again, that's where the mobs are going to fall out. And it's a modular construction where I have 8 spawning spaces per block, since we have a slab here. And the reason we have a slab here is to prevent the spawning of spiders. And as you can see over there, there's going to be a roof above this with that's 2 blocks high that will prevent Endermen from spawning. Although if they did spawn, what would happen? Let's think. They'd hit the water streams and teleport away. So it's kind of pointless having them spawning here. The reason I don't want spiders spawning is that they just complicate matters severely and can cause blockages. And this just general design wouldn't work with them. So here's what happens. The water streams, which come from the corners, I'm going to put a source block in each corner here, end just right here, just before the drop, just before the moon door. If you happen to watch Game of Thrones, if you don't, you should, unless maybe you're below a certain age, in which case ask your parents about it. You may have particularly permissive parents, who knows. Now then, so this central bit was easy, these 4 spawning pads here. But after that, I had to do a little bit of thinking. Now, the corners are easy. By the way, some color coding went on here. The center has stone slabs so that I can easily see where it is. The diagonals have birch slabs, and everything else is acacia. So the corners are easy. All I really have to do is the same thing that I did before, so that mobs drop down here into this water stream and then get carried to the middle again. But I'm going to have to put these torches back once more. The last thing that I want is creepers spawning in here and ruining all my good work. But yes, then when it comes to the acacia slabbed spawning pads that aren't in the center and they aren't at the diagonals, I had to be slightly cleverer. What I did, if you count, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. That's where you put your source block. And again, we have the same sort of thing going on. It ends just here. The mobs drop down to the next one. Come back. Give me my... Oh, right. Okay, it's here, isn't it? Silly me. Do I even Minecraft? Got it. So. Okay. That's fine. Let me in. Ah! Have I got it this time? Great. Now then. Oh. Whoops. Not really sure what happened here. I think I had a little bit of a spill. Is everything fine now? Curse everything! Okay. So, I've continued that theme. I just used a different color block here, so it's easy to see where I've put them. But I continued that theme, and it worked quite nicely in a modular sort of way. I just would do the corners first, like here, here, over there, and over there, and then repeat the same sort of thing. You can just put water blocks in all of these gaps here, and jobs are good, as long as you block water from coming out of here, because that will mess with the corners. And turns out you can continue that outward as far as you like. I restricted myself to 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of it, because otherwise it was going to be getting quite ridiculously huge. And I'm making this pyramid, this floating pyramid, for aesthetic purposes as well as everything else. You will see, or yes. It's going to contain cultural references. Anyway, so before I go on to do anything else here, I just want to have a brief look at a couple of other things. Now, I've been busy with this, and the Countess has been busy with other stuff. So over there, well, I'm not sure last episode whether I talked about the Nether portal, but there it is. The basic design and the base of it was mostly me. But the design for the rings and all of the stuff going through the rings, that was the Countess. This house over here, which I don't feel like this is too much of a spoiler since it's slightly blurry in the background due to the shader pack that I'm using. This is almost all the Countess's work. The design of the house was her idea. You know, the slopes of the roofs, where everything sort of goes in a general sense, and she built nearly all of it. she consulted with me, and there were a few little bits that I changed that she agreed to, and so forth. But almost all the credit is hers, and certainly the general design is. I think I did the steps leading up to the door and a few interior things, and changed some of the roof blocks. That's basically about all I did. And this stuff down here, this is where I started the episode. We now have a barn, because we have our cow farm. We have a new wheat farm there as well, just so we can keep them nice and fed. This barn was entirely designed and built by the Countess. I didn't do anything to this. She, I don't know, she asked me a couple of questions about what I thought about this or that. That's about all, really. You know, I didn't actually build any of it. She just sort of went, "Do you like this? What do you think of this? Should I do this thing this way or that way?" And I'd offer my opinion, and things would move on. We also have a chicken coop over there. You can't see the chickens. They're out of range to be visible, I guess. But the barn, the chicken coop, the house, this is something that we're going to go over in greater detail. I want to wait until I can do an episode actually with the Countess. I'm not sure when that's going to happen. Maybe it will be later this weekend, maybe it won't, but we'll get it done. And over there we have... hold on, I'll point at it. This tiny, pathetic bit of prototype wall that I built in a stream, which I have to get back onto, because we want to have a big, beautiful wall all the way around our valley, up to this marker here, round here, round the back of the house, and all the way over here. There is something else that I want to point out that I want to do, which nothing has been done as yet. I'm planning to build a village in the swamp. Are these skeletons? Oh, I guess those are skeletons. They just looked a bit weird for some reason. Maybe it's the shader pack I'm using. But yeah, we're going to have a village here. It's going to be on stilts, with like suspended walkways to protect the villagers from zombies and the like. I haven't designed upon much in regards to the design. I'm going to try to make it fit in with the sort of swampy aesthetic, however. But that's for the future. Now then. I have some very repetitive things that I have to do now. Wait a second. Get myself a crafting bench. And so I suppose what I need to do is something like this. Basically, if my understanding of the mechanics are correct, when mobs spawn on these spawning pads, they're kind of not going to want to walk off the spawning pads. They might push each other off by accident, things like that. But I gather that if you put signs down, like so. By the way, a little trick, you can press escape to come out of the dialogue and get the sign placed. So that's a lot quicker. I only just learned about that actually from someone else. Yeah, if you put signs down, they don't really realize that they're on the edge of a drop. And they just walk right over into the water streams, which will take them to the drop of great deadliness. So I have a ton of this that I have to do. I need to place so many signs on all of these. And then I'll be able to start closing it up. But obviously you don't want to watch me do that, except perhaps in montage format. Well, chaps, there we go. What I believe was 192 signs later, as you probably saw in the montage, I had to go and chop down trees again a couple more times since I didn't bother calculating it ahead of time. Oh, hello, little guy. How shiny is your armor? So there's that phase complete. However, we are still... let's have a look at it, actually. So, I guess every one of these has... Yeah, I think every single one of these has 3 rows of signs. That is 9 signs altogether. Oh, wait, no. That means it's not 192 signs. It's 3 times 192 signs, whatever that is. It's a lot of signs. Now, what remains to be done, I'm kind of trying to figure out what order I should do this in. You see, I have to put these ceilings above each spawning platform. Then it needs to be covered over with cobble to seal it in. The torches in the water channels need to be removed. I guess they'll be removed by the water. The big problem is the torches actually here on the spawning platforms, which are here right now, obviously, to prevent spawning before I want it. So when I take these out, I might start to get stuff spawning that I don't want to. So let's think about this. I guess what I have to do, firstly, I need to put the ceilings on everything. Secondly, I need to put the cobble cap. Thirdly, I need to work my way outwards from the middle, removing the torches from the spawning platforms and then placing the water, which will then make all of the torches come off and fall down that hole, which I'm actually going to turn into a hole right now. Ho ho, scary. Actually, can I manage to hit this water? Oh wait, no, that's a shadow. That's water. That's a shadow. Don't fall into the shadow. It's just general good advice in life. So I think that's the way that I'm going to do things. But first, I'm going to have to go around, of course, and check that everything is set up right with these gaps here to put the water blocks, that nothing is messed up, essentially, because I'm bound to have made some sort of mistakes somewhere or another. However, I think that that's probably enough for this episode, because I had about 20 minutes of footage, and then I had the montage, and then I had this bit of rambling. So that's probably quite enough. Let's arrange ourselves looking at pretty stuff in the background. Oh, that's great. I'm going to have to take a screenshot. So, the barn of greatness, the house of possibly even greaterness. Yes, we will be getting to this stuff when we can get Countess Lovelace to join us. But until then, that's about it for now from the Eureka server. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do click the like button. It helps out my channel rather a lot. Share this video with anyone who you think might be interested, entertained, or edified. Leave your comments, suggestions, and laughter at my obvious mistakes, which I'm bound to have made, or inefficiencies, or whatever else. Yes, leave all that in the comment section below, and subscribe if and only if you would like to see more. Ta-ta for now, chaps.